So let's go to another commonality, that we have been commanded by God to worship him alone and to not associate partners with him, i.e. commit idolatry, polytheism, or one. How would you understand committing idolatry?
So idolatry is to give to imbue some created thing with the worship that's only due to God. But we call the worship is due to God latreia.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
So the word idolatry,
Yeah,
the
from
latreia
the
part,
latreia
means you're
part.
taking God's worship and you're giving it to
Giving
an
it to
idol.
an idol.
Yeah.
And an idol constitutes what exactly? Does it just constitute an inanimate object, or does that extend to anything in creation?
Any created thing, really.
So include
any created thing that you're giving God's worship to, that's idolatry.
You and I agree on the definition of idolatry. So here's my question to you. Why do you worship a man?
This is Jesus is God. Jesus is the second, because we have a triune God. We believe God is triune as three persons. So the second person of the Trinity, the Son,
Okay.
took flesh to himself. So he didn't go and possess a man. Yeah, so in the womb, the son and the seed of the woman come together to create this God-man.
Yeah, but that's the point. God, man. Even if I grant you that there is a divine aspect to him, we already agree that we cannot worship anything that lacks the quality, the attributes of God. And a man, by definition, cannot have the attributes of God. That would be a direct contradiction in terms of what we have been commanded.
And that's what we call the hypostatic union. The flesh and the spirit of God exist together in one hypostasis, one person.
But we're talking about what God has commanded us. Now, what you're referring to is something that the church has explained thereafter. Now, you could say that it's dependent on the text and stuff. But then we have, what you and I believe in is in terms of Jesus is the Messiah. He is the Son of Mary. He is a messenger of God. I don't think either of us can deny that. So the only thing we differ on is regarding his deity. My argument is very, very simple, that regardless of what you want to attribute to Jesus, peace be upon him, ultimately he was still a man that walked upon the earth. And the definition of idolatry is to worship anything that has created. So even if you want to say that Jesus is this divine being that took on flesh, he took on something that is created. And that in of itself already nullifies an attribute of God, because God in of itself, he is beyond that.
So